All right, welcome back to the $1 to $1 million challenge. First off, I want to say that everyone that's giving me some input, I'll say input, about adding all these extra bonuses from the outside apps. I have a little bit of an intro here. It'll be a little bit extra than usual, but I want to explain some things. So this is very important. I want you guys to pay attention to this. So some people were saying that the extra bonuses are like kind of deviating from the original challenge, adding a little bit extra to the account. Some people aren't a big fan of it. And when I say some, I mean very few, right? So here's what's important. I mentioned that we're gonna hit dry streaks, right? Where the bonuses in the other apps won't be offered as much. So we hit a dry streak. It's starting to, we got a lot of promotional offers, like getting back into those apps. But once you're on the apps, they don't really offer those bonuses as much once you're already like active, right? Especially I've been like claiming all these bonuses and keeping them. So I'm definitely not a good customer on their end to make money because I've just been keeping all these. So I mean, I don't think that really like plays into it as much, but definitely does not help. Either way, right here in these yellow columns, this is what we're playing today. We have 4 days of playthrough to get through today. But we're starting off, these are all the bonuses added up. I'm not including the website balance that we use. So we start off at 192 for today. And then for the 4 days here, you can see we only add like $7. So for people that are like, you're adding so much money, blah, 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 we're only adding $7 in 4 days. So that's almost like $2 a day now. So it's starting to dry out. It's like I said, it'll probably average out to about $1 a day, which is the original concept of the challenge. That's starting to happen, okay? So yeah, everyone that was like worried that we're adding a lot of extra money and it's like boosting the challenge and stuff, you're getting what you wish for. We're hitting the dry streak. We're not getting as many bonuses now. I'm sure we'll get times where we get more bonuses than not, but we were getting a lot in the beginning just because we signed up on all those accounts and we got a lot of like early new, like we haven't played in a while. Like at least me, I haven't played on those accounts in a while. So they were giving me a lot of offers to get me hooked back into their apps, right? So it's starting to balance out. We're averaging $2 a day for these 4 days. So I just wanted to clarify that. Second thing, I want to kind of let you guys into my mindset of this whole challenge, right? Technically today, once we finish day 92, we are 10% of the way done with the challenge. And you're probably like, what are you talking about? You're gonna have, where we at? We're sitting like, we'll probably have like maybe around $400 by the end of this video if we keep getting wins, right? A little bit less. But we're sitting around like $400, we'll say, and you're probably like, how are you 10% of the way there with $400 out of $1 million? That doesn't make any sense. Well, here's the secret: compound interest, right? So yeah, numerically speaking, on pure dollar amounts on the bankroll, not 10% of the way there. That would be $100,000, right? Well, the way this challenge works in compound interest, based on the time frame, or 10% of the time frame through the challenge. And let me explain how this works. This is going to be important. If you don't understand what's going on, how this whole concept works, I'm about to blow your mind. So day 92, right? Day 92, that's what we'll be sitting at the end of this video. If we scroll down here, the tracker is basically just adding $1 a day and adding a 1% gain every single day, right? That's the whole concept. If we hit that, and where we're sitting at is, I didn't add the website balance, but as of like last video, we were sitting at around 350 and we should be at 141. We're way ahead. So that's important. We're way ahead of where we should be. But I built this graph out and I wanted to show you guys this. So you're probably like, what am I looking at here? I'm gonna explain this. So basically what this whole graph is tracking is the tracker column, which I just explained, which is where we should be, right? If we got 1% win and added the dollar bonus every single day, this is where the balance would be, this blue chart here, right? So $1 million is the final day, which right here would be day 925. We'd hit that $1 million mark. So 925 days, at the end of this video will be at 92 days, which is 10% of 925, right? Roughly. But it's 10% of the way there. And this is what I'm saying. You're probably like, how are you 10% of the way there? So at the bottom here, we have days. This is 200 days, 400 days, 6, 8, and then 925 is this last line here. So right now we're like 92. So that's probably about right here, right where my cursor is here. So it's like 10% of the way on this x-axis here. So timeline wise, we're 10% of the way. Balance wise, we're absolutely not 10% of the way. But the way this works is we start off with $1. That's where this is at right here. And on day 200, based on that tracker column up top, we should be at $638, which we're like 350, 400 around there. And we're on day 90. So we're way ahead. We're almost at that mark. But either way, not counting where we're at now, let's just hypothetically, this is where we should be. 200 days in, we should be at $638. Okay. So from 638 to get there from our $1, that's a 638x on the balance, right? That's where we're starting from. We're starting from $1. To get 638, we have to multiply that $1 638 times. So hopefully you're with me on this. So the same time frame, right? For 200 days, we get a 638x. For the same time frame, the next 200 days up to day 400, we would end up at 5,300. That should be our goal for day 400. So from getting 5,300 from 638, that's only an 8.32x. So, this first 200 days, we have to get 638x on our balance, which is a lot. That's a huge increase. But now we only have to get an 8.32x to the next 200 days, which is a lot better sounding than getting a 638x. Okay, so you can see on the graph here, you can start to see these blue dots very slightly start to come into play here. Down here, you really can't see anything, right? So that's the balance. Very tiny compared to that 1 million. So in the next 200 days, 400 to 600, we would go from 5,300 to almost 40,000. Again, that's only a 7.44x. So that's even smaller than the 8x that we needed. Now we need like a 7.5x. So at that point, at 600 days, you can see the balance right here, this line, is pretty big compared to everything previous, right? It's a pretty big increase from this. You can't even see it down here. And this is where compound interest comes into play. So from day 600 to day 800, again, same time frame that we're doing each 200-day blocks here, we need to get a 7.33x. So we go from 40K to about 290K. And you can see the graph really starts to take off. Once we hit 600, it's really starting to take off because that's exponential. This whole thing's exponential because we're adding 1% to the previous line. And that 1% numerically keeps getting bigger and bigger, right? It's still 1%, but on the previous number, it just keeps adding to it. So you can see in the end here, really in the last like 10% of this challenge, we're making most of the money. So you can see like probably day 850-ish, we're probably going to be at 500,000 hypothetically if this all works out. 500,000, and then within probably about 100 days, probably even less than 100 days, we're going to go from 500,000 to $1 million. So we're going to double the balance and get to $1 million from 500K probably in about that last 100 days or so, right? If everything goes to plan. So this is compound interest. This is how it works. So at the very beginning, and most of the challenge will be really slow, but then it should take off towards the end, right? If we can do these first chunks of 200 days, if we can do this for 2 or 3 chunks, that's a pretty good track record to do it for the last 2 chunks, right? So we're 10% of the way there. We're halfway through the first chunk. That's how I'm looking at it. And this is shown, the best example I can think of this is Warren Buffett. So if you guys aren't familiar with Warren Buffett, he's like a mega investor. He started at the age of 11 and just invested his money like his entire life. He's very old now, still alive. But if we look at this is his net worth, and you can see it's very similar to our graph. He invested at the age of 11. You can see, what was that? Probably like 1930-ish, maybe. his net worth was pretty much at zero. This is in millions, by the way, or billions. This is in billions. You can see it's like a flat line the whole way through. And then right about here, it starts taking off. And then he got like most of his net worth in the last like 10% of this, right? He's over $100 billion in 2023. And you can see what the halfway point here at 50 is right about here, about this area. So you can see he got most of his net worth in these last couple years here, from here up. So that's where compound interest is like really known for, especially with Warren Buffett, because he got so much. There's different graphs and charts. I don't know his exact net worth, and I'm sure they're all different that you can find online, but that's a good example of how compound interest works. So that's what we're going for. Hopefully that's a better visual of how this is supposed to work. It's a very long game you're playing. You're trying to get most of your wins in the end there, but it's still gonna be 1%. It's the same thing we're doing, just with bigger amounts. It's the whole concept. So, like I said, we're 10% of the way there technically, based on the time frame. If we look at Warren Buffett's chart, you know, his 10% was right here, and time frame wise, 10% of the way at the goal. Okay, that's how I'm trying to look at it. So, hopping into things here. To get our current bankroll, I have to do a couple things first. We have to claim our weekly bonus, which is only 34 cents. It's not super crazy, but you know, it's gonna add to the balance a little bit, so we're gonna claim that. Okay, so we got our 34 cents there. If we pop into here, we'll claim that real quick, and that's only 10 cents, so not a huge change to the account, but that brings us up to 175.73. So entering that into here, that brings our current balance to 368.36, which makes our profit goal $3.68, and our stop loss is 14.73. Okay, so I gotta show our bonuses that we claimed. We have a deposit bonus here where we earn $5 for depositing 30. And again, I deposit money in and then do what I need to do to get the bonus. So I just gotta play this bonus once to claim it. I think this goes to 1,000x, which is crazy too. I've never seen it go that high. I missed it, but just thought it was cool to show it, throw it in there too. But we just play this $5 once, and we can cash it out. Then I withdraw the 30 bucks I deposited. And people were saying like, well, you're using your own money for that, right? I got money in the website balance of 173 bucks. To me, it's the same thing of withdrawing that money from the account, putting it in my bank account, and then using my bank account to make that deposit. It's like the same thing. I'm just saving steps and transaction fees. I have the balance to be able to do that from the website. I'm just not doing that because that's just a lot of extra work. I have to wait for all that transferring to happen and everything. But we had another one here. I wagered $25 to get $2 in casino credits, which I did. And then I do the $2 at 1.01x on Crash and cash it out. Same thing on this other app, very similar to the previous one, just a different app, but it's the same offer. So I wagered the $25 and then I cash those credits in for $1 and do the same thing. So like I said, we're hitting a dry streak here though, not any big bonuses being added, but I check it every day just to see what's going on. And the biggest thing with that sheet that I was showing too is the bonuses really are important in the beginning, right? Because that 638 number I was talking about, that first 200-day chunk, those bonuses that are added to that saves us the risk of losing any money and gets us closer to that 200-day chunk goal of that 638. So here's $40 deposit. I get 68 casino spins, which is really good. That's a really good deal. I think that's amazing. So put in 40 bucks, spin this. I just sped it up just to show you guys the gameplay. But yeah, our goal is to get to that 638 number, which is our 200-day goal. And all these bonuses that we can claim, the faster it gets us there, the better. And obviously, you know, getting $7 in 4 days of bonuses isn't that much. And I don't know, some people don't like that. I don't know why, but that just progresses us faster through that that graph I was showing you guys. We want to get through that as fast as possible. So we're really working towards the end where it's starting to like increase a lot, right? And adding $7 when the balance is like $1,000 or $10,000 isn't as meaningful. So we want to get that in now so it boosts us through the challenge faster. That $7, like for this episode, the $7 bonuses that we claimed here are way more important. They're going to boost the balance up now way more than they will in the future. So we want to get that money, claim those bonuses now. It's not that big of a deal if you're worried about adding extra money. I don't know why people were upset about that. Not many, but I just got to mention that. Try to explain to people how I'm thinking about things, how everything's working. I try to respond to the comments and explain as much as I can, but it's really hard to put it into text and respond to every single comment. I tried my best, but I hope that all makes sense what I'm explaining. I know it's a lot of numbers, and that's the whole point of this. I'm trying to take emotion out of it. Obviously, you get emotion when you're going for wins and losses. That's the whole idea. It's just to keep emotion out of it, stick to the numbers. Numbers don't lie. As long as your math is right, the numbers are usually right too. So let's hop into things. So since we had a lot of talking in the beginning there, I'm gonna try to play a little bit more aggressive today, just so the video is not super long. You know, I don't want to be playing. Oh, there's a loss right there. That's sick. I don't want to be playing forever here. Let's cash that out. Turn this down a little bit, but yeah, I don't want to be playing. There's another bomb. We'll double this up. I'm gonna be playing more aggressive. We might hit a stop loss today, but if we do, it's okay. We haven't hit one in a long time. But I want to play aggressive just so I can get through the video a little bit quicker. I don't want this to be like an hour-long video, so we'll see what we can do here. I'm gonna do a $4 bet and just go for one mine, maybe two. Okay, there we go. So we're at 284. Let's bring us back down to $2. Okay, 380. That's a little bit above our profit goal. We got it. Let's enter that in the sheet. Okay, so entering that into the sheet, that brings our balance up to $375.63, which makes our profit goal $3.76, and our stop loss is about 15 bucks. Okay, so coming into wheel, I'm gonna reset the last stats here, and we're gonna do a couple spins at $1 on medium risk. Whoa, that's crazy. We got the 4X off rip. Woo. Okay, so we need 76 cents now. That makes life a whole lot easier. Let me hop into another game real quick. Okay, so we need 76 cents. So I'm gonna go for a 40-cent bet. We just need 2 wins. Give us some room to mark and get a little bit. We have a 15 against a 10. Tough start. 19, not bad. Oh man. Okay, let's do one more here and we should be good for today if we can rip this off. We got 17 against the 4. I like that a lot. That was too easy. This is too easy. 380 again. That's 4 cents above the profit goal, but we'll take a little bit extra winnings there. Okay, so adding the bonuses and the balance from the website for day 91, that brings us up to $382.64, which makes our profit goal of 1%, $3.83, and then our stop loss is $15.31. Okay, we're coming back to the wheel. It really took care of us on that. I was expecting to play that for a couple minutes and try to really work for that couple wins there. I'm gonna reset the live stats here. But maybe it'll treat us good again. The 2X brings us down to 50 cents. Wow, okay. This is working like way too good, way too good. I'm gonna bring it down to a 25 cent. We get a loss, we get another loss. I'm gonna double that up. Okay. We get another loss. Another loss there. Okay. There's our losing streak. There it is. Okay, big losing streak here. All right, this is what I was expecting the first time. Whoa, there's the 4x again coming in clutch. We're at 375. We need 8 cents. We need 8 cents. If we take this over to low, what is this? 10 cents. Okay, if we hit this once, we should be good. We just need to hit at least a white. Can't lose this. Okay, we're at 385. That's 2 cents above profit goal. On a roll, guys. We're on a roll. Now adding up all the bonuses from the outside apps and the website, we're up to $386.49. $386.49. And then our 1% profit goal is $3.86. Our stop loss is $15.46. All right, coming back into the website, we're gonna reset our live stats here. And I'm going to run our strategy of trying to do over 25. We're gonna start off with a base bet of 8 cents. That's 80. I was wondering why the profit was so much. Let's start off with 10 cents actually. It's only a 3 cent profit, nothing crazy. But basically we just run this until we hit a loss. So there's a loss, we hit the green and then we double up, hit the green again, that brings us back to where we were, right? So then we can bring us back down to 10 cents. We hit a loss, we hit 2 losses, we hit 3 losses, we hit the green, we double up, we hit another loss, green, double up. Okay. So every time we hit a loss, we keep the bet. And now we bring us back down, back to 10 cents. So they can go on a run like that where you get a bunch of losses in a row without hitting those 2 green wins. And then that's where your bet can start to get pretty high pretty quick. There we go. There's another big run of losses there. So now we're back up to where we should be. Usually it's not that volatile where you get 3 or 4 losses in a row like that. But it definitely can happen, obviously. So here we go. There's another couple losses there. We double up. And bring us back down to 10 cents. Now I'm not gonna run this the whole way through. I'm just doing this till we get up to a little bit of profit here. I'm not trying to do this for the entirety of the day. But we'll see how far we can take this. Double that up so we get 2 wins. So we lost, double up again, lost, double up again. Need 1 more. Okay. So yeah, if you hit a crazy run like that, you can go very deep into your balance. You can spend a lot of money trying to run that back up. That's why we start off with a 10 cent bet. It's very low, but it typically works out as long as you cash out before it starts getting too high. Oh man. So we're gonna double this up to $1.60. Okay. Let's bring us back down to 10 cents. So you can see that big dip there. We were up to, what is that? 116, and then we got a bunch of losses and we're down to 21 cents, and then we got a couple wins, we're back to 149. So those streaks do happen. You want to have the bankroll to be able to sustain those losses like that. So here's another really good loss streak that we don't want. Okay, double it up. Okay, so we're back to where we should be, 10 cents. I'm gonna try to run this up to like $2. Obviously we hit a bunch of loss streaks, so hopefully we don't hit another one before we get there. Okay, here's it picking up again on a loss streak. And we should just do 1 more and we should be good. It's a loss. Oh man, a couple losses there. Okay, so we're $2. We need $1.86. Let me try to get 6 cents. Just need 2 more wins. Oh, dang. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. That's good. We'll leave it at that. Made a lot of progress. We're going to hop into another game. All right, I'm going to come into mines. I'm going to use our entire profit so far of 208 and try to get 1 click. 2 clicks. That was so stupid. I should have just cashed out. That was so stupid. All right, let's do $4. Oh man, that's harsh. 1 more. Okay. Let's try that again. Oh man. One more. Okay. We're struggling here. I was just trying to go for like 2 clicks on that. 1 more. Okay, that's $2. It's pretty much where we were. Let's bring us back down to 208 and try to do 1 click. All right. We're back. We're back. Very stressful, but we're good. We're good. All right, we're coming into blackjack. We need about $1.50. So let's go for a 70 cent. Not a $70. That would have been disgusting. Let's go for a 70 cent bet. See if we can get a win off rip. 16 against the ace, no insurance. They don't have it. So we have a 16 against an ace. I'm pretty sure that's a hit. It is. Oh, we just busted. Okay, let's go for a 70 cent again. Yep, there's the 21. All right, we're gonna double up to 140. Oh, 15 against the 9. Wow. Okay, let's go for a 280. What's up with these aces, man? That's crazy. Let's go for a 560. Oh, that's how we get the blackjack. All right, we have a soft 18 against a 9, which is a hit. Yeah, I didn't like that at all. 21 though, I like that. I like that. We would have lost on the soft 18 anyways. Okay, good thing we followed the book. That's massive. That brings us the whole way back. Look at this chart down here. That's crazy. Look at that. Crazy dips. Crazy dips. Okay, so we're back to where we just were. Let's go back to the 70 cent bet. We need a couple wins here. So we're at a 9. Let's get a 10. Let's get a 10. All right. 19 against 15, 18. Okay, we'll take that. Let's get 1 more. We're pretty much there. 19 against a 3. I like that. I like that. Just, okay, I'll take the push. I'll take the push. Soft 17 against a 6. Am I reading this right? It's a double? I feel like that's stupid. I'm gonna do it though. It worked. That's an extra 50 cents in profit pretty much. Okay, let's enter this final balance of 191 into the sheet. Okay, so that leaves us with a final balance of $391. We made $22 total in this video. We took the balance up $22, which 15 of that, if we add up these numbers here, 1578 was from pure gambling, and that other $7 was from the bonuses. So pretty good day. We added $22 to the balance. That's what we like to see. You know, steady progress. That's all we're looking for. Gets us one step closer on that chart. We're just trying to work our way up as much as possible here. But yeah, so we're officially 10% of the way there after finishing day 92. We're officially 10% of the way to our end goal here. I know it's doesn't really make sense, but it does make sense if you think about it. Or maybe if you don't think about it, it makes sense. I don't know. It depends how your brain works. But my brain is a little bit, I don't know. It's hard for me to explain things verbally. I feel like pictures are always the best way to do it. So I hope that helps clarify how I'm thinking of things and how this whole challenge works. So we have a Discord. The link's in the description. Join the Discord. I got some big plans in there coming up soon, so you might want to hop in earlier rather than later. leave a comment with any suggestions. Let me know your thoughts on this chart that I'm showing you guys, or any suggestions on the challenge. I'll try my best to respond to you, and leave a like and subscribe if you haven't. Helps the algorithm out and helps grow the channel. So thank you guys so much for all your support, and I will see you guys in the next video. All right, peace.